Jazz hands. Hey guys, Harrison, welcome back at it once again for a brand new video for you, and welcome to another top 5. Again, continuing this little series of special videos I've got going on through December. Now it's the turn of MotoGP to get its own top 5 in the spotlight, as in this video I'll be talking about my top 5 riders of the 2013 MotoGP season. A season that up the front wasn't quite as exciting and wasn't quite as diverse as Formula 1 was this year. But there was definitely, in my opinion, a clear top 5 that impressed me the most over the course of the season. Before I start, 2 quick notes. Number 1, just want to get this out of the way now, Valentino Rossi is not in this top 5. Given the bike he was on and given his equipment, he was really quite disappointing to finish about 100 points behind Jorge Lorenzo. So, for a guy of his quality and as a guy that has done everything he could do in MotoGP, I found that by his standards a really disappointing year. So that's why he's not in my top 5. And I want to give an honourable mention. I was so tempted to put him in the top 5, but I couldn't quite do it. But I wanted to give Alex Espargaro a special mention as well, because Espargaro becoming the double CRT champion and constantly pushing that bike way beyond where it should have been as a CRT. I think he finished in 8th place 4 straight times as well this season. Espargaro is just quality, and I really hope he gets a top-level bike next year or in 2015 or something like that, because Espargaro is a brilliant rider, and he deserves a chance at the big time. But he was another guy I wanted to give an honourable mention to as well. So, without further ado, here is Dre's top 5 riders of the MotoGP season.
Number 5.
Number 5, I have Alvaro Bautista. Now, Bautista is a guy that this year proved that he is probably the number 5 pound-for-pound guy in MotoGP. Was able to get into the top 6 of the World Riders' Championship, as well as be constantly that guy that was in the leading pack of 5 in most races this year. He had 2 drops, but besides that, finished in the top 8 in every single Grand Prix for the rest of the season. As well as that, it's a shame he never got on the podium, but overall, Bautista proved that he is a top-level guy in this sport, and given the bike he's on, which isn't even a prototype, that's an impressive form right there. Yes, he didn't quite score as many points as he did last year, but overall, Bautista is proving that he is a top-level guy in this sport, and he should be knocking on the door of a top-end seat in MotoGP very, very soon. Often he would also come out on top in the battles between guys in the same kind of tier as him, like Cal Crutchlow, which I'll talk about in a second, Stefan Bradl, and even Valentino Rossi on occasion. Alvaro Bautista, ready to take that next step into the future?
Number 4.
At number 4, I have Cal Crutchlow. Despite the fact he's 28 years old now, people seem to forget this is only Cal Crutchlow's 3rd season in MotoGP, and this year he improved again. He was 12th in his first year in the championship, he was 7th last year, he now actually broke the top 5 for the first time and could have easily had a 200-point season if it weren't for the fact that he had 2 major drops in Catalonia and on the final Grand Prix of the year at Valencia, a race which seemed to be bunching the pack up together due to the tactical nature of Jorge Lorenzo and Dani Pedrosa. Overall, Crutchlow doubled his podium count to 4, looked like he was much more solid on his Tech 3 than he was last year, and was able to beat his teammate in a talented Bradley Smith that seemed to get better and better as the season would go on. Even challenging for race wins now and again. His best ride for me was the Saxon Ring. I keep pronouncing that wrong for some reason. I think it's the Saxon Ring, whatever. But where he was seeming to be on an equal footing to factory rider Marc Marquez and en route to his best MotoGP finish ever in 2nd place. Now, with the reshuffle in 2014 complete, Crutchlow missed out on a factory ride, but with Valentino Rossi waning, could he be the guy to step up into his shoes and take his space? Maybe another big year from Crutchlow would be able to do just that, but that's why he gets my number 4 spot, for his constant and strong improvement, as well as being able to get the best out of the bike he had beneath him. Just stay upright a bit more, Cal. It wouldn't hurt, it really wouldn't.
Number 2.
In 3rd, surprise surprise, it's Dani Pedrosa. Considering this is the 3rd time in his MotoGP career he's finished 3rd in a Riders' Championship, I thought it was only fitting he also finished in 3rd on this countdown. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. This was Dani Pedrosa's 8th season in MotoGP, and it's actually the 6th time he's finished in either 2nd or 3rd in a Riders' Championship. Even cracked 300 points again for the 2nd time in his career in the top class, and it still wasn't enough for him to win the championship, beaten by Lorenzo and Marquez. Had 3 wins, didn't finish outside of the top 5 in any race he started, that's besides the Aragon accident. But just, it always seems like he's the bridesmaid and never the bride. You know, he's the only guy that really got involved in Marquez and Lorenzo's fights consistently. But there's always just someone around who's a little bit better than him. Next year will be his 9th year in MotoGP at the top level. Can he please have a chance of winning a championship again? Otherwise, his fans might just give up and go into retirement like he will, because seriously, he's had so many opportunities, but he's never been able to cash in on it, and I'm starting to feel really bad for Pedrosa because he's a guy that probably deserves a championship, but has just never quite got over the line for it. Will next year finally provide some answers for Dani Pedrosa?
Number 2.
Number 2, only just, is Jorge Lorenzo. Jorge Lorenzo this year started out slow, but as time went on, he proved why he is a double world champion. Lorenzo was absolutely astonishing the second half of this year. Hell hath no fury, like a guy that has nothing to lose. The guy thought he was beaten after the 6th place in Laguna Seca. After that, finished on the podium every Grand Prix for the rest of the season, winning 5 of the last 7 races in the process, in a desperate bid to try and reel in Marc Marquez, especially after the Australian Grand Prix disqualification he had to suffer. Lorenzo overall was very, very unlucky not to win the World Championship this year. If he didn't have the crash in Assen, he probably would have taken it. But it figures. However, this was the best Jorge Lorenzo I have ever seen. An angrier, more aggressive Lorenzo. He qualified stronger. He rode harder, under immense pressure. He's always been a strong defensive rider. This year proved just how good he is at that ability. And there's a reason why he's a double world champion. Lorenzo was outstanding this year and deserves all the plaudits for being a runner-up, even if it was second to arguably the greatest natural talent this sport may have ever seen. Speaking of which...
Number 1.
And at number 1, of course, your new world champion, Marc Marquez. Have we forgotten this kid's still only 20 years old? As a stud talent, Marc Marquez has blown the minds of just about every MotoGP fan out there this season. Marquez has been absolutely phenomenal. Took the World Championship by the scruff of the neck when other guys made mistakes and made them pay at the end. Even if he was kind of going in 3rd and 4th gear towards the end of the season, Marquez was truly phenomenal. Only didn't finish in 2 races, and that was Italy where he dropped off the bike, and Australia when his team let him down and he got DQ'd. Besides that, every race he rode to the line in MotoGP this season, he put on the podium, breaking just about every rookie record in the history of the sport and stunning the world in the process. And there's no reason why this guy can't win 2 or 3 more in the future. We could be witnessing the second coming of Valentino Rossi here, people, and that is a scary thought given how dominant he's been in this sport over the years. As a pure natural talent, Marc Marquez was absolutely astonishing and is more than worthy of being the Rider of the Year. One has to wonder just how good this kid can be considering he's this good now and he's only 20. Lorenzo is in his prime now and he's 27. There's a scary thought. Marc Marquez, my 2013 Rider of the Year.
Oh, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me what your top 5 was as well. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And in the meantime, I've been Harrison101. Thank you very much for watching. And sayonara.